In a small, quiet town, there lived a man named John. He was a simple, hardworking individual known for his kindness and integrity. John was in his mid-30s with a gentle demeanor and eyes that held a spark of resilience. Despite his humble beginnings, he was always the first to lend a helping hand, believing in the goodness of people and the power of perseverance. John's life, however, was far from easy. He had faced numerous challenges since his childhood, growing up in a broken home with little support. Yet, he managed to carve out a life for himself, working tirelessly to make ends meet. He had a modest job at a local factory and spent his free time volunteering at community centers, where he was cherished by everyone who knew him. Despite the hardships, John remained optimistic, holding on to the hope that things would eventually get better. His heart was full of dreams and aspirations, not just for himself, but also for those around him. Little did he know, his journey was about to take a turn, testing his strength and spirit in ways he could never have imagined. But life had its own plans for John. It started with the loss of his job. The factory where he worked shut down due to economic downturns, leaving John without a source of income. The news hit him hard, but he remained hopeful, confident that he could find another job soon. Days turned into weeks and weeks into months, but opportunities were scarce. John's savings dwindled, and he struggled to pay his bills. Despite his efforts, he couldn't find steady work, and the pressure began to mount. As if losing his job wasn't enough, his beloved mother fell seriously ill. Medical bills piled up, adding to his already heavy burden. John felt overwhelmed. The weight of his responsibilities and the constant setbacks were like a storm raging against his resolve. Friends he had helped in the past tried to support him, but their resources were limited. For the first time, John felt the sting of hopelessness. Yet, amidst these trials, John never lost his kindness. He continued to volunteer, offering what little he had left to those in even worse situations. This selflessness became a small light in the growing darkness of his life. However, the constant strain and series of losses began to wear him down. The man who once believed so firmly in perseverance and the goodness of people found himself standing on the edge of despair. As John stood on the brink of giving up, the final blow came. His home, the modest house he had worked so hard to keep, was foreclosed. With nowhere to go, John found himself homeless, wandering the streets he once knew so well. Each day was a battle for survival, and the cold, indifferent world seemed to close in around him. Desperation seeped into his bones. The spark of resilience in his eyes dimmed, replaced by a haunting emptiness. He questioned everything he had ever believed in: the goodness of people, the value of perseverance. Nights were the hardest. As he lay on park benches or in makeshift shelters, John's mind replayed every hardship, every loss. The weight of his suffering felt unbearable. One particularly cold night, as John huddled beneath a thin blanket in a dimly lit alley, he finally broke down. Tears streamed down his face as he whispered to the darkness, "I can't do this anymore." It was a moment of utter vulnerability where even the smallest glimmer of hope seemed extinguished. In that darkest hour, John contemplated giving up entirely. The thought of ending his suffering tempted him, a way to escape the relentless pain. It was a terrifying and lonely place, and for the first time, John truly felt defeated. His spirit, once unbreakable, now seemed irreparably shattered. As John sat in the cold, tears drying on his cheeks, a shadow fell across him. Looking up, he saw a stranger standing there, an elderly woman with kind eyes and a warm smile. She introduced herself as Margaret and asked if he needed help. Though hesitant, John nodded, unable to find the words to explain his situation. Margaret extended a hand and helped him to his feet. She led him to a small, cozy cafe nearby, where they sat down with steaming cups of tea. John shared his story, the words tumbling out as if a dam had broken. Margaret listened intently, her eyes never leaving his face, her expression one of deep empathy. She told him that she ran a shelter for those who had fallen on hard times and offered him a place to stay. John was taken aback by her generosity, but accepted gratefully. For the first time in months, he slept in a warm bed, feeling a glimmer of safety and comfort. Over the next few weeks, Margaret became a beacon of hope for John. She encouraged him to take small steps towards rebuilding his life, helping him secure a temporary job at the cafe, and providing him with resources to look for more permanent work. She also introduced him to a community of supportive individuals who had faced similar hardships and come out stronger. Slowly but surely, John began to regain his sense of purpose. The kindness and support from Margaret and the community reignited the spark of resilience within him. He started to believe again, not only in himself, but in the goodness of people and the power of perseverance. With Margaret's support and the community's encouragement, John started to piece his life back together. He found a more stable job at a local hardware store, where his hard work and dedication quickly earned him the respect of his colleagues and supervisors. The job provided a steady income, allowing him to save money and begin planning for the future. John also found solace in helping others at the shelter. He volunteered his time, sharing his experiences and offering a listening ear to those who were going through similar struggles. His story became a source of inspiration, a testament to the strength of the human spirit and the impact of compassion. Months turned into a year, and John's life transformed in ways he had never imagined. He moved into a small apartment, modest but comfortable, and began taking classes at a community college, hoping to further improve his skills and career prospects. The once overwhelming darkness had given way to a bright and hopeful horizon. Margaret remained a constant presence in his life, a mentor and friend who had shown him that even in the direst of circumstances, there was always a way forward. John often reflected on the journey he had taken, from the depths of despair to a renewed sense of purpose and hope. He realized that the trials he faced had made him stronger, more empathetic, and more determined to make a positive impact on the world. John had not only survived, but had thrived, thanks to the kindness of a stranger and the unwavering belief that he could overcome any challenge life threw his way.
To stay updated with all the channel's content and not miss any videos, subscribe to the channel, activate the notification bell, like, share with your friends, and comment below what you learned from the previous lesson in the video. May God be with you all, and see you next time. Bye.